balls I got. Look at my balls.
I'm excited for your meatballs.
I'm bloody hungry, so forget it.
Currently camping just off the Pennine Way, which feels not surreal but slightly amusing, as I was here about 3 weeks ago as I hiked it, and now Max and I are back on our way north. We currently have the comfortable lavabo, which feels like a massive luxury, as well as having a cup of tea and a hot meal. Max has just gone to Park Kermit, and this is where we will be spending the night. It's about 7:30, so we will be going to bed early, and then we'll be getting up early tomorrow to then drive further north. Yeah, it's actually a really good wild camping spot. It's quiet, it's nice and flat, it's out the way, and the lavabo is a great tent to camp in. I'll say goodnight here, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Take care, guys. Day 2 started off with a minor tent leak, but luckily the heater in Kermit is pretty epic. We encountered a lot of rain as we headed north, but also found a lot of beautiful scenery as well. We met 2 road closures which diverted everyone down a single track road. Though soon enough we were en route again. The traffic thinned out once we were in the Scottish Highlands and we were on our way. Arriving late, we pitched and tried to get some shut-eye despite the epic wind. Once day broke, the rain was gone and we had our first glimpse of the islands further north. Looks yummy. Once we left the mainland, the sun was on our side and we had an enjoyable voyage to Orkney. we visited Skara Brae, somewhere Max had always wanted to go. Like build a house like this?
It'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Not much of a view.
No. It was still exceptionally windy, as expected on an island and by the North Sea. It was that windy even the tour guide was wearing ski goggles to avoid getting sand blown into their eyes. Making use of the time until our next ferry, we checked out 2 nearby stone circles. We had a whistle-stop tour of Kirkwall, the capital of Orkney. Before boarding our overnight ferry to the Shetlands, or at least what remained of the night, as it was well after midnight now. So we boarded the ferry and we have little sleeping pods which include a shower and a towel, so that's great. I've had a shower and we're going to get to bed now because it's just after midnight. So yeah, the shower was really warm, it's a bit steamy in here now, but yeah, good shower.
This is supposed to be packed down.
Excited?
I'm excited for a sleep. Yeah, I am actually.
Nice one. These are your beds.
Yeah, good breakfast grub. Time of day grub, isn't it, Katie?
Yep.
The Cape Fridge. Not sponsored.
No. Once we were on Shetland, we had another 2 ferries to catch to reach the final island.
Exciting, isn't it, Katie?
Yep.
Jolly in Shetland, Katie.
Yeah.
I don't seem to hate their life like
To complete our mission, we took to foot and hiked the final miles in order to see Muckleflugga and Outstack, the northernlymost point of the United Kingdom. Maybe next time we'll have more time to visit them in person. Once we'd completed our mission, we headed off and stayed overnight at a local boathouse suggested to us by the local ferry folk. What's on the menu tonight, Chef?
Mostly vegetable korma.
Cool.
Some lightly fried rice and some steamed naan bread.
Very nice.
Just a little something that I call down.
It doesn't look that bad. I think it probably sounds worse than it is on the tin. With our mission complete of reaching the most northern part of the UK, we enjoyed a bit of sightseeing and became tourists. pulling over to let some people pass, Kermit ran aground, and we had to be towed out by a local.
We got out and we met a local. All good.
For the final night, we camped beside a local ruin and got lucky with their local wildlife. So what have you enjoyed most about our adventure to the north, Max?
I enjoyed the fact that we made it. Mission accomplished, as intended. We got to the furthest point north that we could, without any real dramas. Yes, I started enjoying it. I'd say probably a lot more. It went from type 2 to type 1 fun once we actually got the furthest north, and then chilled out a bit. I really enjoyed finding our campsite and just all the facilities there, and just nice to be a tourist for a moment and just indulge in all of that sort of stuff after a couple of nights of very wild camping. That was a nice treat. And then I really enjoyed zipping about Unst, because it's such a strange place. It is the island above all the others, as they call themselves, and it's a very novel place, and it's tiny, so you can zip across it back and forth in no time at all. So you can see all the sights. You don't have to be selective. So that was a definite highlight. The day after completing our main mission, and then I think finding this place as a campsite for our final camp. That's a total highlight. Yeah, I didn't feel like we were going to do that. It felt like the entire mainland of Shetland was just one big wind tunnel. But finally we found somewhere just in the shelter of this building. It's pretty hunky-dory.
I guess it's so hard to put the highlights into perspective because there's been so many. I'm glad to, as you say, to have completed the mission of getting as far north as we could. And I think one of the things that's been, I guess, most surprising in a way, that this is like part of the British Isles, but it's so different and diverse, and not many people come up here, even though a few ferry rides and you're here. And it kind of feels a bit similar to Iceland and New Zealand in a way, how it's a lot of communities all spread out, but there is a real sense of community.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing, the people are so friendly.
Yeah, like you're like passing people, everyone will wave or they'll pass, which is like, even though they don't know you, people are really friendly, but you do get a real sense of community. But I guess that comes from, living so far up here out the way, like you have to rely on everyone in terms of like medical needs, or if like the community fire station. Like we found quite a few useful resources in the churches. Like as I said previously, from travelling in Japan, convenience stores would be my go-to in terms of like Wi-Fi, shelter, food, bits and bobs. Japan and New Zealand, I go to the library because there'd be Wi-Fi. Everyone would gather there, and here everyone seems to kind of rely on the churches. We've been to a few, as well as like boat clubs as well. They're quite like a sense of a community hub. We've been relying on those. But yeah, that's been quite a standout for me on Shetlands. Now people are very curious in a way of like why you're here, and yeah, just really helpful, and to them they don't think twice about the help they give, they just do it. So yeah, I really enjoyed the community aspect here. Yeah, Kermit is definitely cuter. You excited for your all-day breakfast?
Yes, I'm very hungry.
Does it look quite good?
Returning to the mainland, we got the ferry to Aberdeen and spent the last day driving south. It had been quite the epic adventure,